At the end of last week's vlog, I moved Narrowboat Alice Grace over to the highest wall of Brickhouse Lower Basin because other boats had left, anticipating a flood due to snow thaw.
I hope the cormorants haven't gone to high ground because they suspect a flood.
I kept a close eye on the flood information and checked the river every few hours.
I've watched the River Calder as it's bubbled with rage, as it's nearly spilled into the canal, as it's caused chaos on New Year's Day. I've listened to the locals telling their stories about the River Calder. This is it. I'm going on the River Calder and I feel really scared. There's a little bit of orange showing. Loads of boats have already gone ahead, so I know that it's doable. And it's just this lock that separates Narrowboat Alice Grace from the River Calder. Right, here we go.
We are here in the country, coming out of the lock at the lower Brickhouse Basin, about to negotiate the river section of the Calder and Hebble navigation. You can see on our map every time we're going to pick up the river today, which is in between the canalised sections marked off by locks and floodgates.
And this is the feature of the Calder and Hebble navigation. Stretches of canal, followed by stretches of river. And this is the first stretch of river that we've had since we've been on the navigation. But we're going to visit the river lots more as we go. So that speed of the boat is all in sort of just above low revs. We're not in a high gear or anything. But all around there's evidence of how high she can get. You can see by the bank how it's been flattened by the river. So once we've done the Calder and Hebble navigation, where to next? Let's have a look at that.
The plan for this year is all unknown waterways for us, with lots of rivers and spectacular scenery. And I'm sure by the time we've finished this section, we'll have a whole toolbox of brand new boating skills to carry along with us.
As we turn this corner, we're going to approach the next stretch of canal called the Kirklees Cut, and we'll see a weir. I came down and had a look at that. Here we go, here it is. There'll be a weir on the left hand side, and we're hoping that the floodgates will be open. Yep, they are open, so we can go straight through. Brilliant. So we just go straight through these locks. Now of course they've been shut for a while because the river's been too high, and that's to protect the Kirklees Cut from flooding. But they're open today. I know this stretch well because there have been a lot of walks down here to check on the floodgates, to check on the river levels, then to check on the ice. So this little stretch has been well worn by Zephyr's paws and my feet. And now we're here today, so it feels like we've been in Brickhouse Basin forever. It's been a great place to stop, but it feels wonderful to be moving again. Here we've got the M62, which we're going under.
The Kirklees Cut is such a pretty section between the river, but with the threats of winter floods and ice, we're choosing not to stop here, as there aren't any service points in this spot.
Now we're going, the next one will take us down onto the river again.
At Kirklees Lower Lock, the scout group with their scout boat were having training so the leaders knew how to operate the locks.
Back on the river, we had some help there from a scout leader group that they were having their training. It's really helpful of them, it's brilliant. But back on the river section, it's glorious. This is where we go, we turn left we think, towards Wakefield. Yeah, that's us, that's the floodgate. So we're turning now towards Wakefield, and then the Huddersfield Canal is to the right of that, but they've closed that navigation due to a lock breach.
Just like the Bridgewater Canal collapse, this also happened following the New Year's Day floods, and it's unknown at the moment exactly how long it will take to repair.
So you can't get down there anymore, or up there. Now this is a tiny little cut of canal before we go back on the river again, this one. It'll be a lovely place to moor for a week, but it's not got services here, so we have to carry on. And then we leave the tiny cut behind and we're back on the river again.
Where the river gave us a startling reminder that she's not to be taken for granted.
Wow, the river took us at the back there.
I'm going to make a brief stop here to visit a really interesting place.
Just pulled over to have a look around the nature reserve. Oh yeah. It's got something. Whoa. Zephyr and I are going to go and have a look at this nature reserve. I I must look like a right weirdo because I'm walking around in my life jacket. But we are on an island.
This island was formed when the canal section that we've just arrived on was cut across a loop of the River Calder.
Lots of silver birch here. Like the insects are well looked after here. Got a nice hotel to check in and out of. Beautiful here, but I've got to keep going now because I've got to get back to the boat. We're going to carry on our journey and moor somewhere near the service point. Last look of the day. I'm not sure if we need the spike or the windlass, so I've got both. Let's go and see.
Once we're through this lock, the river will take us to our final destination for a week, a place that has an interesting link to the literary world of the past.
Are you helping me?
This is the remains of the church that the Bronte sisters worshipped at. In fact, Mirfield influenced the three sisters, and this is reflected in their writing. It's funny I should see this kestrel in the churchyard, because Emily Bronte kept a bird of prey, a merlin.
Hello? Are you looking at me? Hello, beautiful kestrel.
They went to school in this town, the same school that Charlotte taught at too. Anne Bronte, the youngest sister, was also a governess in Mirfield to the Ingham family of Blake Hall, which no longer stands, and her time here inspired her novel Agnes Grey.
Bronte Way.
We are on a Bronte sisters journey, and we're going to use the steam train to find out more. Bronte sisters may have spent part of their life in Mirfield, but they were actually brought up somewhere where the average life expectancy was as bad as some of the worst parts of London and Liverpool at the time.
But must there be men's names?
When a man writes something, it's what he's written that's judged. When a woman writes something, it's her that's judged.
We must select the poems we want to use. And then, yes, if we're to be taken seriously and judged fairly and make anything resembling a prophet, we must walk invisible.
It's hard to imagine that this stunning village was once cut off from adequate transport links and has such poor sanitation that if you survived your first year of life, then your average life expectancy was just 25 years. The Brontes were slightly luckier than the majority living here though, as their father Patrick Bronte was the vicar. Life, believe, is not a dream so dark as sages say. Oft a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Tabby, the Brontes' housekeeper, slipped on these cobbles when they were icy and did permanent damage to her legs. The sisters refused to eat anything until they knew that she would be kept on as housekeeper, as they loved her so much.
So the bath bombs.
The sisters all died far too young, but in their short lives they were powerful and original storytellers that paved the way for future female writers. And the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway is an excellent day out on the steam and diesel trains, with 5 miles of heritage track to explore and 6 stations to hop on and off from. black lab coat apparelled, eyes goggled observing, recording the river, its rise and its fall. From milltop and lamp-post, slick flippers edge curling, balanced and poised to take note of it all. Away from the gaggle, yet keen to survey them, just like the writer, eyes prized on the host, ears wide to the sounds and how to convey them to the world that they watch from their faraway post, till they fly invisible like an ink-coloured ghost.